Hey, welcome back to Python tutorial projects, and in today's lesson we will be doing something more interesting again. What is it? A pizza order taking app. So you're going to be making or building an app which can take orders for your pizza shop. Okay, so let's get started without wasting much time. So you have to, as usual, import OS and time. We've been doing that for so many projects. Then you have, make a variable called PizzaStuff. Now, this is my shop's name. It could be anything else for your shop. So PizzaStuff, whereby we are considering it as a variable for storing the list of pizza orders for different customers. So initially started as an empty list. Okay. Now here you will be introducing a try and accept code for catching errors. I'll be doing a separate tutorial on try and catch, but in this one, just introducing it in a basic way. So try and catch errors. So let's try using it here. Try and catch loop. So try, what you're doing here, opening a file. So you have to create a file rather, which is called PizzaStuff.txt. So I want to open or create a PizzaStuff text file. So as usual, I do the coding for that, open, and then I write PizzaStuff.txt as a string and then comma R. So that means with a read feature, with a read permission. Yeah. Then remember, I didn't have the file before, but it can create that by using it. If I had the file before, you can still do it. So then after that, PizzaStuff equals eval. So when you do eval, remember in the last tutorial, whenever you do eval, the eval function, what is that for? Auto loading, if you remember that. So you are using the feature of auto loading. That means whatever orders you're taking, the list it will be auto loading into the file. Okay, so what happens is automatically it has auto save and auto load. Automatically it saves into the file that is created or existing, and it will, whenever you call for the order, when you run the order app, or run the machine or give the run instruction, then it will auto load like we have done in our previous tutorial before this. And then after that, f dot close, the file close. So it has a read permission. So first you create it with a read permission, then after that you auto load with eval function and close the file. Okay. So that was try catch. So try, and then under the except loop, what you do, so under the try, you've already done this. Under the except, just write an error message. So error message, this existing, something like the list is not existing. That depends on what error message you're trying to gather. So here, for example, if the list is already existing and if there's nothing which you can recall from the list, no data, then you say existing list is blank. But in my case, I've already tested it out several times, so there's a lot of data, so I won't be able to do this unless I create a new one. So you can test it out with your new file. Okay, then that was a small example of try and accept. I'll be doing a separate tutorial on this. Never mind. Okay. Then you have. Then you want to create some subroutines, some functions for viewing and adding the list. Right. So this also we've done it earlier. So define view, the view function. So what is happening here? This is in the scenario when you have to create variables for viewing the list, which is in the pizza items that is being ordered. Yeah. So create variable name equals, that is whatever is the name of the customer in this case, but I made it this way. You could also do it like name of the pizza. That's up to you. Size, of course, the size of the pizza. Quantity of the pizza. You can even say it as QTY. That's totally up to you. Now total, I create a variable which is actually the total cost of the items purchased, the pizzas purchased. These are the various variables being created here. And then after that, the print statement or the print function, the inbuilt print function. So what you want to print out. Now remember, we've done this earlier. You want to print it like a 2D list. So here you want to this is called the format, the way you want to format the print result. So name, so what all you want the items to appear there: name, price, quantity, size. So name, size, so in this order: name, size, quantity, and the total price. So this is how, so this is called the string format. So in this string format style, the result will appear in the print statement when you run the print statement or the print function, sorry. Okay, now this is again under the define view function. So what else in the view means you have to complete this function. So another for loop, that means all these items will be present in the form of a row, right? So for row in PizzaStuff. So PizzaStuff is that file in which the row is existing. For row in PizzaStuff, you need to print out. So print out the string format. Write exactly in the order that you want to print out. Simple as that. So you have to write those curly braces first. 3 or 4 curly braces. Now in that, the condition is obviously when you're printing out, when you want to see the list of purchases, the orders from the customer, you want to see it from the first order, right? So row with index of 0. You don't want to miss out on any rows. So starting with, for every row for the complete rows in PizzaStuff, you want to start when you're printing with the first row. So index. So the first row, the index will be 0, right? So row with index 0, then the first row with an index of 0, second row with an index of 1, the third row with an index of 2, fourth row with index of 3. So this, obviously, this is the formatted style that you want to print, because here what happens is in this scenario, when you print out, you'll get to see the orders right from the first row, which has an index obviously of 0. So that's the idea. Because when you're evaluating the orders from different customers, you want to see the entire list of orders. This is the best way that you can do that. It starts from the very first order, which is the first row, second row, third row, and so on and so forth. Okay. So remember, do not forget to inject the time.sleep. That's for pausing, right, after every line. Otherwise, it will be so fast that you won't be able to figure out. So time.sleep. Now, I've written 4 now. I'll be changing it a bit later when I see that it's a bit slow, but I leave it up to you. You want to get the print out of every line slowly or fast. That's totally up to you. You can even make it 1, 2, 3. That's up to you. Okay. Then now you need, so this is all about the view function. Now you have to create another function, which is the add function. So define the add function. So create the loop for this. Now here, as usual, the time.sleep, you need the pause after you for you to see the various rows. Then after that, os.system clear. Now after every time you view the list of orders, you want to clear the screen, you use os.system clear. Okay, because you'll be adding one by one, right? So you first add something, clear the screen. Second, you add something, clear the screen, and so on and so forth. So what are the variables that you'll be creating for the add function? So first, you want to create a variable called name. Now that's again up to you. What is the type of variables that you'll create? It could be name of the customer, name of the pizza. In this case, I make it like name of customer. So name is going to be, now this is user generated. So remember, you have to use the inbuilt input function. So name equals input. You want to ask the user, what is your name? Then you want to make another variable which is size. What is the size of the order? Small, medium, or large? And what else? You can even make some variable called like toppings or additional fruits. What type? Vegetarian, non-vegetarian, it's totally up to you. So this is just for example's sake, so I'm using the least number of types, the least number of variables here. Yeah? Okay. Then you have then you create the while true for this, the while true loop for this, again the try and except error loop. So why here? Because here, for example, the quantity. Now what can quantity be? That is again user generated, so integer input. Remember why we're using int? That's for the integer, because quantity has to be a number, right? Integer. So you have to use, remember, before input has to be written within the integer function. Remember that. So integer function, then inside that the input function, and then the parameter is what is the quantity. Yeah, as a string, of course, and then break. First you write the quantity, break, because you cannot keep on changing the quantity, right? And then the accept. Okay, the try except. This is the try except error. Now why you're doing the try except error here is, supposing you write the quantity, like for example, instead of 2 pieces, if you write 2.5 pieces, 7 pieces instead of that 7 by 3/4 pieces, something like that. So it will give out an error message. So we write the error message here. What error message we want to write here? We want to write here error. The number must be or rather a quantity must be, or you could say please input a quantity which must be a whole number, not a fraction, something like that. So that language is totally up to you, but you have to make the user figure out that I'm inputting something wrong here. So that's the idea of using the try except message with the print error message, by printing the error message here. So I hope you got a basic idea of using the try except error loop here. Okay. Then after that, what else you need inside this while true loop for the add? Okay, size. Cost. Now initially the cost is kept as 0 because now it calculated the cost, right? So now you have to create an if loop, if else loop. Okay, because there are 3 sizes, remember: small, medium, and large. So if size equals small, so you just put an imaginary price here. Cost equals, like in my case, I've written $7.00. You don't have to write the dollar there. Okay, then elif, size equal to medium. Cost equals something else. So 3 conditions. If either it's a small, then cost is so and so, or it's medium. Because if the user says I want to order medium size, then the cost is so and so. Else, if they say the size is, so the last condition left is large. No need to say elif size equals to large. You can just say else. So cost equals 15, something like that. So obviously the large one has to cost a bit more, right, than the medium and the small. So that's the idea. So the total sorry, the spell mistake. So now you have to calculate, you have to have a formula for calculating the total cost. Yeah? So total equals cost multiplied by quantity, obviously. That's basic math. Any class 2 child can do it, but you have to write it in the form of variables here. So you already created the cost variable, you created the quantity variable, you created the total variables. You have to write the formula first. Total equals cost multiplied by quantity. You've already done the multiply symbol before in Python. Then it's like a star here. Then total equals round. Now you have to, why you write round total comma 2, because that's up to you. You can round it to 1 digit, you can round it to 2, you can just not round it at all, because like normally when you have like $10, 50 cents, something like that. So that's why we normally round it to 2 decimal places for the cost. The cost can be a decimal, right? Okay, then the row. Now you want to write it like a table format, 2-dimensional, right? 2-dimensional table. So, like the row, you have to write the format of your choice. So, row equals what you want to appear first, the name, the customer's name, size, comma every time, name, comma, size, comma, quantity, comma, the total means total price. Then what else you need? That's it. Okay, so 4 items. You can even have more, like I said earlier. So after this, PizzaStuff, that is the whatever the 2D list that you created, dot append the row. So the row, remember the row is not the list, the row part of the list, of the 2D list. PizzaStuff is the entire 2D list. So first, after calculating total, you do the formatting for the row and then append that row to the PizzaStuff, the 2D list. Okay. Then again you have to create a while true loop for this, time.sleep2 or 1 or whatever, os.system clear. So what you want to print out for this function? Print PizzaStuff. PizzaStuff pizza, that is the name of your pizza shop. Print again. So that is to execute the printing. Yeah? Okay. Now remember, you also need the overall menu, right? Because you want to prompt the user, like you want to add something to the 2D list, or you want to view it. When you've already taken the orders from the customers, yeah, and you want to do something with the list. So there are 2 prompts. One is for adding or appending, and the other one is for viewing the list. So for that you need to create a menu. If you remember, for all our projects we've been doing it this way. So menu equals, so this is again a user generated input. So number 1 is add pizza. So whatever is add pizza order, you have to add. So that is the choice one. And remember, the \n is for going to the next line, right? Next row or the next line. Then second choice is for just viewing. So I wrote add pizza, you can even say just add. So choice 1 is for add, choice 2 is for view. Yeah. Okay, so that's the menu. So under the menu, under this menu, you need to create the if choice, the if else loop. Okay, so if menu equal 1. So if the choice in this menu, because there are 2 choices, 1 and 2. So if you choose the point 1, the option 1, if you choose option 1 from this menu, remember 2 equal sign. Then what function you'll be using? Just simply add function. So you just need to write add function, because you've already created the define add earlier, if you remember. Else, that means else, what is the next option left? Menu equals 2. So if it's a choice is 2, the option is 2, use the view function. That's it. Simple, right? So it has to be either adding or viewing. These are the 2 choices left. Okay. options provided. So now you need to again open up the file. So F open PizzaStuff.txt. As usual, remember it has to be stringed. Whenever you write the name of the text file, it has to be stringed. It's very important. Inside the open, I made a spell mistake, comma. And then earlier it was the read permission. Now you need the write permission also, okay? Because you are going to need the write permission to write new text to it. So let's continue doing this. So F equals open, name of the text file, and with the write permission. So you are giving the write permission to the file that was the text file that was created earlier. So there you go. And then f.write. So what you're going to, you've given the write permission above. Now what are you going to write into it? The string. And which string is that? PizzaStuff. The PizzaStuff list. That string, the 2D list, that string you're going to write into the file. So you've created the 2D list and then you want to write that string into your file that was created. And f.close, the close permission. Yeah, and then you run the file. Just checking if everything okay. Now, for your information, I'm using Replit Code Editor. So that's quite easy and innovative to use. And you can even have it on your Android phone. You can open it as an app. You can download and install it as an app from the Google Play Store. Okay, let's run. There was some typo errors. Okay, I've been able to figure that out. So, okay, see, I'm getting two options, either to add the pizza order or to run. So, let's see how it's done. Okay, there's some more error here, some printing, there's some typo error. You have to be very careful in Python if there's a for a spelling mistake or typo mistake. I'll be doing more such projects, continuing with Python projects. So if you're interested to keep on going with Python in a project style learning basis, do remember to smash the subscribe button if you're already not subscribed. And for those who are subscribed, stay subscribed, and thanks so much for staying subscribed. It really gives me the motivation to go ahead and produce more such tutorials. Okay, I'm just checking if everything okay. So you can copy the code from here. I'm scrolling it slowly so that you have ample time to write the code while you're watching it, and you can understand it side by side simultaneously. Or you can try doing yourself and then you can do along with it. That's totally up to you. Okay, so let me try again after correcting some errors. This run ask AI is very annoying. I don't want to ask the AI. Okay. Okay. What's the name? What's your name? Just give some fictitious names. What's the size? I write small. Quantity. What's the quantity? Yeah, 1, 2, whatever. There you go. Again. Try it once more. Second time. Name. Whatever name you want to write. Oh, quite fun, right? Keep on writing different sizes. Like in this case, I write large. Quantity, I change the quantity a bit. So, try one more. There you go. So you got like a list. But here you'll find the list is quite ugly, right? There's no space in between and it's not formatted well. So I'll tell you the trick for that. Let's go ahead and do that. Okay, it's all the information is coming, but it's very crowded. So later on there's a possibility of getting you confused with the figures, because if the orders are not recorded properly, it's a problem. So it's something like an order taking machine, right? Oh, sorry, I opened the wrong file. Okay, let me open it again. So this is based on 100 days of Python coding on Replit, and I'm enjoying it, and I hope you guys are enjoying it too. Thanks to Mr. David for all the challenges and code introduced here for Python learners and Python beginners. And this is a fun way of learning Python, whereby you're doing simple projects and at the same time getting to solve the projects and understanding the concepts. So here you can see it's a beautiful 2D list, yeah, inside the file PizzaStuff text that was created, because I was attempting it before, so you will see more items there already. I just did 3 or 4 items orders with you here, but I had done it earlier, so you'll find the entire list. In the file it's so beautiful, but when you print out it's not beautiful. So I'll tell you how to do that, how to rectify that. Let's get set doing that. In the meantime, I'm scrolling here. So, and then I included one more line: print name, quantity, total. Your total cost is so and so. Now, when you write like that, after calculating the cost, if you write like that, you can see it in the file later. If you write like that, it's even easier for you. Like every time you input the order, you'll get a print alert saying, okay, your total cost is so and so. Okay, when I'm using the formatted string for printing, remember it came out very ugly in the result. So I want to give it some space in the printing field, in the characters. So like depending on the size of the character, like for name, it could be a long name, so I'm giving a space of 10. So this is how you give the space. If you see the way I'm writing, okay, 7. So for size, I give a space of 7. Sorry, because large, medium, maximum size would be like 7 or 8, 6 like that. So 7. Quantity could go as large quantity, so I'm giving that space of 10 for the characters, and total quantity also something like 10. It roughly wouldn't go more than 10, presumably. So if you do like this, create space for the characters in the character field, then the formatted result would come out to be more neater. So the same thing for the row also, the same space that you given for the variables, the name, size, quantity, total variables, you have to obviously give in the row because the name, quantity, size, etc. is presented in a row, right? So the space for the characters you have to create there also, similar to how you can find it in the type field, in the number characters, in the character keyboard, sorry. Okay, so I've done that. Let's see how the result comes out this time. Then you will understand what I'm talking about. So let's continue. Let's run again and do the same thing. Okay, add. I give the option of 1. So what's the name? Your name. Give out some name. Give out some name. Ronnie. And size small, medium, large. Large. Quantity. So the quantity. Give some quantity. Okay, continue that for 1 or 2 types and then view. So this time you will find the output is much more refined. Okay, so patiently let's do the second one again. So one more entry here for some fictitious name, Laura, small, quantity 3. Okay, so what's happening? View. I press the 2 choice. See how it's formatted out very nicely. The rows can easily see under size, under quantity, under cost, total cost, under the names, all like properly formatted because you've given the space field for the characters. So now the gaps are very well defined and you can see it in a clear, you can record it in a clear manner. So this is much better, right? You won't be confused with the numbers, they won't get jumbled up. So that was the idea of doing that formatting. So now this part is clear. Now the time.sleep, sometimes I feel it is too slow, so I decrease the gap. Sometimes I feel it's too fast, so I increase the gap for the pausing. So that's totally up to you. Nothing major, that's a personalized choice. So that's totally up to you. I just keep changing the pausing and then I attempt it once more. And as you can see, it's slightly faster than before. Yeah. So that's totally up to you, nothing major. But it's quite beautiful now, the formatting. So this looks really professional and good. And then, like I say, you can, for this pizza order, you can have like toppings, you can have content, you can have additional food put in, additional flavors, name of the pizza, so many things that you can think of if you're a foodie. But I didn't do all that because I'm just showing you this as an example, a simplified version. So like that. Now I'm trying to put in some errors and show you some error messages. First, let's see if everything in order. So you've been able to build a order taking machine that you can store in your file, auto load and auto save. Okay, that's quite cool. Becoming faster. Yeah. So there you go. So later when you want to see your orders, this is so cool, right? This is why people love Python, for its automation ability. And you'll be doing many more complex projects where you can use Python automation. This is like nothing. This is just very, very beginner project. So this is, remember, these projects, tutorials are only meant for Python beginners, not for Python advanced majors. you will find it boring. If you know too much, this is not for you. This is for absolute Python beginners. So please excuse me if you know much more than this. This is not for you. There you go. The 2D list looks gorgeous, and it's stored inside my beautiful file called PizzaStuff.txt. I created a couple of other files, so you do not have to look at that. You just look at the file, text file that is mentioned in the code, and I want you to create some other file and in your code and experiment with it. Name it something else and then experiment with in a bit different way. So there you go. I'm just reviewing the code. So there you go. You have import OS time. You created an empty list, two-dimensional list. Then you tried some try except loops for catching errors. Then you created the function for view and add by defining it. And then you created the main menu with two choices, add or view. And then you also created the eval if else loop for calculating for defining the cost and thereby calculating the total cost. You run the formula also for calculating the total cost. Yeah. And then finally try running it again. Okay, I'm just trying to run it again. The last case, give it a name of Geeta, the customer name. Okay, small order, quantity, something like 1 or 2 or whatever you want to write, 10, that's totally up to you. There you go. Quantity must be a whole number. See, I wrote like something 0.5 as a decimal number, so I get an error message, quantity must be a whole number. So this I did purposely to show that if you give something if you give a quantity which is not an integer, which is something like decimal or something fraction, then it will throw out an error message saying quantity must be a whole number. So this example I did just to show you that by using the try except error code here, it will catch that error when you input a wrong type of quantity. Okay, what else? So I think more or less this is quite clear to you. This was so finally we managed to create an order taking machine or an order taking app, and for our shop, the PizzaStuff shop, whereby you can nicely create a text file, you can auto save the orders from the customers with complete details in a 2D list format, and based on your formatting it can auto save into your file and the created file, and it can auto load whenever you run the code. It will actually auto load it for you. So this was quite cool, right? You are able to start a shop, a foodie shop, a pizza shop, or whatever shop. It could be anything. It could be a pizza shop. It could be a maybe any fast food, sandwich shop, whereby you are able to create this order taking shop and store it in a file which can auto load and auto save whenever you run the code. So that was the idea. So this can be used for your business. So that's how automated Python automation serves as a business model for lots of small business entrepreneurs. So just tried out my last example here, customer so and so medium. Yeah, just added some orders here, and there you go. It is showing here very clearly when you view, when you run the option for. So it's quite cool, right? There. Just checking out. So this was the main file, and then so you have to keep your eyes focused on the, sorry, this is the wrong file open. You have to keep your eyes focused on the file that you created, which was in this case the PizzaStuff.txt and the main py file. That's it. So these two files you're concerned about, and then run. After finishing the code, you just run your code, and if you're able to generate the desired output, your app or your machine is ready. Your order taking machine is ready all to go to generate business. So you have been able to do that. Kudos to you, and make sure. So here this is not important. Here the first one, I just tried changing the name of the file just to create some errors there, and you'll find that once you've created a file, like in this case PizzaStuff, if you change the name of the file, obviously the file will be, the data that was stored in it will be gone, because it will be rewriting all the data. So make sure that once you create a file, when you start doing your project or your business, once you create your file, if you don't want to lose it, don't change the name of the file. So this is what I was proving by trying to attempt here to change the name of the file. But I just did it for example purpose only, nothing major. So I want to make sure that you smash that subscribe button and share this tutorial with your friends who find Python beginner projects very useful, and make sure that you practice this code very well. Practice and practice until you get it right. Yeah. So you can see I've already run all the examples for you in different conditions, just for you to figure out what happens when you do what. So I will see you in the next with more stunning project tutorials. Until then, keep subscribed for more Python tutorials. Though, if you keep staying here, I'll keep on trying and running it until you'll get fed up of Python. So just practice. The moment you see this project, run it, practice along with me. As you can see, my file, I changed the name of the file, the data also changed. It'll rewrite the data. See you again in the next.